Today we're going to be making a chicken tourtiere, just as a different version, the ELLICSR kitchen version. And we're going to be using some whole grain flour just to up the fiber content of this recipe.
Can anybody guess what the original tourtiere was made with? It's something that we're still using today, but I think they've changed the name in restaurants.
Beef or deer?
No, but that's used as well. Duck? No, it does try to fly. Pigeon. Yeah. Pigeon was the original tourtiere. And again, like Christy said, it depends on the region you're from, but it's whatever was available. Pigeon is still used.
So did it originate in France or Quebec?
I think
It's a French recipe that was brought over and kind of adapted. So it depends who you ask, I think.
if you ask
Many
anyone from
people
Quebec,
take credit for the tortilla.
yeah, it's probably from Quebec. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off with our pie crust, pastry crust. And this is, again, a very, very simple, very straightforward. And it helps, again, if you have a food processor, because it takes like 2 seconds. And if you know me, I do not like baking. I'm going to say a stronger word. I don't enjoy baking. So if I can speed things up, I'm definitely game for that. So food processor, and we're going to add 3/4 ingredients. So we're going to start off with our flour. 2 1/4 cup. Any sort of flour will work for this. We like using red fife. This is actually spelt flour. Had some spelt flour today. So that's going to go in. So spelt flour, but yes, you can definitely use red fife flour instead here. And we've done recipes before for pie crust, pastry crust with olive oil and even coconut oil. The most important thing is that it's cold, whatever fat you do put in. Today, we're going very traditional and we're just using straightforward butter. So if you did want something lighter, or if you didn't want to use the butter that's saturated, then you can definitely use an olive oil pastry, and we have one on the website. But again, like the most important thing I said is it has to be cold. So that's diced, and this is 1/2 cup. That's going to go in here. And I added a pinch of salt. I forgot to mention that. So flour, pinch of salt, butter, and we're going to pulse this just until it combines. The reason we use cold fat in here, and with olive oil, you can actually freeze the olive oil for about 1 hour, 2 hours. Actually, you can even do it 4 hours, 5 hours overnight, and it turns into like a gel. It's crazy. And you can use that in here, but the reason we use the cold fat is because that's what gives you those flaky kind of layers, that flaky crust. If it's warm, it'll still be good, but it won't be as good. So pulse it until it's combined, and then as it's mixing, we're going to add 6 tablespoons of ice water. Again, really, really cold. We want to make sure everything is cold. This is where I have trouble, is getting it all in the mixer.
Well done.
Very good. And if you want to make it a little extra special, I don't know if this is in the classic recipe, we're adding a tablespoon of maple syrup just because we're celebrating the holidays.
Canadiana to the max.
And a little bit of maple syrup in the pastry crust. Very good. I have to get all this approved by Christy first. Sorry, sir.
We like our maple syrup. It's lower on the glycemic index than other types of sugar, and you're getting some antioxidants and minerals in there too.
And so you keep turning it until it comes together in a ball. Now, if you see that it's still not forming together, just add a little bit more water. Or a bit more maple syrup.
I like your
I
style.
like you, yes. Very good. So just a little bit more water. And that's pretty much it. Once it stops turning, we have our pastry dough. Really, really simple. Now this is a little sticky, so I'm just going to knead it. I've kneaded it a couple times. Just a little bit of flour. Excuse me, but then we're going to let this chill. And it's important that it chills at least an hour.
What does the chilling process do?
Again, it's going to keep all the fat cold. It makes it a lot easier to roll out after anyway when you actually roll it into the pie crust or the pie pan. And again, it's all about the flakiness. I don't question the flaky pastry rules.
That's right.
And so when you have it ready, you can roll it out, put it into your pie crust, or your pie pan rather, and it's ready to be filled. And this is good for any sort of pie recipe, even like a sweet pie.
Yeah.
And so for the filling, really simple. I've got some onions and garlic I had sauteing here. We had our ground chicken. We had some of those warm holiday spices. So we have some cinnamon, some ground clove, and some ground nutmeg. Just fantastic. Really, really good in there. This is when the house smells lovely. Some thyme, some fresh thyme in there. And then you can add your salt and pepper, which I already did, and just mix that up. Now, you can continue to sear the chicken until it's all sort of cooked and browned. It's going to continue to cook with the liquid. The searing just helps to get sort of those caramelly bits and improves the flavor a little bit. But you can always just add the stock all at once. So when the spices are in, we're going to add, this is a delicious root vegetable, celery root. Potatoes usually added. But again, there's so many amazing root vegetables out there that you can replace potato with. And this is what you want to look for.
It's probably the ugliest vegetable you can find,
It's the tastiest though.
but very nutritious. So it's a good source of vitamin C and vitamin K. And vitamin C, again, a great antioxidant. It helps to fight off illness and infection. And vitamin K is important for blood clotting and for healthy bones. So don't pass this by next time you're in the grocery store. It's a great root that you can incorporate in your recipes. And as Jeremy said, anywhere you would use potato, you can experiment with different types of root vegetables.
It mashes really, really well. It purees really well in the soup. It tastes like celery actually. Very, very mild celery. And it's the root, it is the root of the celery, so the celery will grow out of the top. But it has a really nice sweetness to it. You can actually eat it raw. We've done really thinly sliced raw salads with it. But when you cook it, even like roasting it like naked in the oven with just salt and pepper, it has this really, really incredible sweetness that comes out of it after.
Does it have a lot of juice in it, like the potato when you grate it?
It does have water content, but not nearly as much as potato. Like if I there's no way I'm gonna extract water out of this by just wringing it, by squeezing it. But it does act much like a potato would in other cooking methods. Absolutely. So that's it. The celery root goes in. We're gonna add about a cup of. I have chicken stock that I made. You can use even water. So bring that up to a simmer and then let that cook for about 35, 40 minutes. You want to cook it until most of the liquid is actually evaporated. Make sure that the celery root is nice and soft at that point. Your chicken will be cooked through. And then you finish it, and I love this sort of trick, and not every tortilla does this, but I've seen a lot of them add oats right at the end. And the oats, I mean, not only you're adding, some great nutrition, but what it does is it actually absorbs any sort of excess moisture that hasn't evaporated, and it thickens it into this really sort of nice filling that won't make your pie crust soggy. So I love the technique of adding the oats, and then I also added just a little bit of parsley to finish it. And once you have this, your celery root chicken maple filling, you fill it into your pie crust. You can put your rest of your pastry on top, and then bake it 375 for about 35 minutes. And I'm horrible with making designs and shapes, but this is what it looks like after.
I think it looks pretty awesome.
Really, really nice golden brown, and it has a really nice healthy crust with a beautiful filling. And you can, this recipe will make like one large pie like this. You can also do little small ones in little muffin tins, which I did today for you guys to try. So really, really easy and very traditional. You can celebrate our neighbors to the east. That's it. That was our last recipe.